We want to open up the show with the prayers and the thoughts, positive thoughts about the folks out in California that are just going through these devastating fires from these Santa Ana winds that are just stoking up, losing homes, losing cities, losing communities. And, that is just a devastating part. I know, first off, by losing everything I had in a fire some 30 years ago, it's still hard to this day to go back and think about that. But thank God my situation, there was no loss of life. But we also lost a football game for a home team that deserved it in the NFL. This has only happened one other time in history, and this devastating news out west gives us the opportunity to go back in history and look at the other game. It's all coming up in just a moment.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history. Your host, Darin Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darin Hayes of PigskinDispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your portal to positive football history. And like we said, we're really thinking strongly and positively for those folks and praying that folks out in California, that some rain or something happens, the firefighters that are brave and fighting through this can finally get these fires under control and ended. Because what a devastating situation that is out there. And it's causing, not only for the communities that are being lost and the firefighters and their families that are worrying about them being out there in danger, but all the communities around that the smoke is going and affecting their lives as well. So we think about them today, but we also have a football game, the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. The Rams won their division and they earned the right to have a home game. Even though the Vikings had a better record, totally different subject, but the NFL has chosen that division winners mean something and you will get a home game. Well, that game has to be moved because of all the smoke and the danger to fans coming in and everything else going in. The venue is just too close to where the fires are going on, and they don't want to interfere with what the firefighters can do and people fleeing, they want roads tied up and everything like that. So they're putting everybody safely down in Glendale, Arizona, home of the Cardinals, who are not in the playoffs, to have this game on Monday Night Football on the 13th of January here in 2025. But this is only the second time in NFL history, in the 105 years of the NFL, well, I guess maybe more like 90 some years, because there was no postseason games in the first 13 years of the league. But so it's been almost a century ago. Only one other time it's happened. And we have an opportunity to talk about that tonight. It was in 1936, on December 13th, the NFL championship game. Now, they took turns who the home team would be, the East or the West, for the championship game. And this particular year, the Boston Redskins won the East, and it was their choice to have the home game. Well, George Preston Marshall, their owner, who has had some very, nefarious history, and we've gone to some of the extremes on what he has been involved with throughout the career. We're not going to talk about the bad here. Well, he had the opportunity to have a game in Boston where they were playing their home games at Fenway Park against the Green Bay Packers. Well, he had bad ticket sales all year long. It was a struggle the entire time up in Boston. If you remember right, they were first the Boston Braves, named after the Braves baseball team. Then they changed their name to the Boston Redskins when they had some Native Americans that were playing on there, including their coach and captain, and they became the Boston Redskins. In 1936, ticket sales were slumping again. George Preston Marshall said the media was against them, and maybe they were, and fans and the team just didn't get along, but they had a very good team. They made it to the NFL championship. Well, Preston Marshall decided to sort of, stick it to the town of Boston, said, you don't even deserve to have an NFL championship game. We're going to play in a city that's neutral. And that was the Polo Grounds in New York City. So this neutral game 2025 for the Rams having to go to Glendale to play the Vikings, and George Preston Marshall's decision because of poor ticket sales, and he wanted to get ticket sales because he took part of the gate, and so did the Packers, in the Polo Grounds, biggest city in the United States at the time, most people possibility to come in and buy tickets to go to this game. And I think it was a fairly good turnout. And it really was not a bad game, but it really wasn't a good game, because the final score was the Packers winning big 21-6. And it was sparked by Arnie Erber's aerial attack. He had a touchdown pass to the Hall of Famer Don Hudson, and Milt Gattenbein also scored another touchdown. And the third touchdown was engineered by the Packers, set up by a couple more pass plays, and then they ended up running that touchdown in to make it 21-7. And each Packers player, the winning team, got the great sum of $250 for winning that championship game. So remember, this is 89 years ago. And each Boston player got $180. So there's a $70 span between the winners and losers, which good chunk of change back in 1936. Remember, this is in the Great Depression. And that is the story of the only other neutral site postseason game in NFL history, besides the one that's going to be played on historic January 13th, 2025. So that's just a bit of history we thought we'd share with you, get you in your weekend. Enjoy the games and hope your team is still in it. Hopefully my team will still be in it by the time we're through with this weekend. But we got some good games coming up here, and the college season is full swing with their playoffs going on as well. So until next time, everybody, have a great Gridiron Day. That's all the football history we have today, folks. Join us back tomorrow for more of your football history. We invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our broadcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.